The accused Narayan Kamble, age 65, is charged under Indian Penal Code, Section 306, abetment of suicide in the death of Vasudev Pawar, age 25. तुम्ही वासुदेव पवारला ओळखायचा का?
नाही. To explore the nightmare of going through a trial, that's what attracted me. When I went to like a court session, I saw that things are not quite what I've seen on television or films. It was really different. And I saw some scope for a very interesting narrative. I saw some scope for humor in it because things were not really very organized. There were no mics. Some of the lawyers were not like good orators. So a lot of that kind of attracted me, and I wanted to explore it. I wanted to learn for myself, how the judiciary in India functions.
When I read the screenplay, I found it hilarious. I find the film very funny, and that was the first thing I told Chaitanya, because his observational humor and just kind of his approach with the text, his use of words, and I find it hilarious, the whole film, in kind of a dark, sad way. But
your case will not be heard today.
Why, sir?
You have come wearing sleeveless top to the court hearing.
it's quite disheartening. It's quite sad. Visiting courts is not fun. You see a lot of people waiting there. I mean, for us, it was homework because we were going there to, whether to look for art or whether it was for their own character work. A lot of people just waiting, and each face had a lot of pain because it felt like they had been there for a while.
I realized that a lot of the people who are working within the system, they are normal people, like you and me. I realized that some of them could be my uncles or my aunties or or even my mother or my father.
हम सब लोग चुपके से मैजिस्ट्रेट कोर्ट में जाते थे और 3-3 घंटे टाइम स्पेंड कर रहे हैं चर्च गेट में, हाई कोर्ट में गए, कुछ सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है. They are talking in different languages. I was making a note of all the people there. Of course, photography was not allowed, but then Chaitanya would tell me, you see the lawyers waiting outside. You see the people who are there with the witnesses. So these are the kind of references.
I actually followed a public prosecutor in session court at town. तो फिर मुझे पता चला कि क्या कैसे खड़े रहते हैं, क्या interactions होते हैं, कहाँ मूवमेंट क्या होता है बॉडी का, फिर कैसे पढ़ती हैं, कैसे लिखती हैं, क्या रेफर करती हैं.
Chaitanya's primary preoccupation was a cinematic rendition of a certain kind of reality. A lot of the locations were chosen for a certain kind of a look and a certain kind of a feel, and so there was no need to tamper with them in any way and just create the look around that.
It's almost like understanding the space as if it were real. There'll be a passage which will be this wide, and it has to be this wide because any compromise in depth would make it not believable.
So we would also try to understand what are the places where people stand, what place gets dirty, how are people actually using the space.
I was actually midway in my scripting process when I saw Jai Bhim Comrade.
वे एक्टिंग करते हैं भाई और हम फाइटिंग में मरते हैं भाई. वो एक्टिंग करते हैं भाई, हम फाइटिंग में मरते हैं भाई.
And it was like this crazy coincidence when I saw the film that a lot of the scenes that I had thought of or had written in the film were actually in that documentary. Of course, later on it became like this invaluable resource for our production designers and a costume designer to kind of, as a big point of reference.
अरे रान चला उठू सारे रान रे.
So I remember during somewhere in his documentaries, I think this has been mentioned before as well, about the rights of the conditions of sewage workers.
जे गार्बेज आपली हाऊस गल्ली असते, हाऊस गल्लीमध्ये संडासच असतं. ती काय अशा पाट्या आम्ही असा उचलतो तर आमच्या तोंडाला काय मॅक्स नसतं, काय नसतं. तर ते पडताना का पुरे आमच्या अंगावनं पडतं.
The other thing was that the case of the manhole worker, that was the last piece of the puzzle that fell into place. I had all the scenes outside of the courtroom, but I didn't have the main case, and I had like a list of conditions. And I came across an article by a writer called S. Anand in one of the Tehelka books, which is a compendium of Tehelka articles, which spoke about the plight of the manhole workers. That became the case.
These workers are fully aware of the various hazardous gases that breathe inside the sewers and know that they can lead to instant death if proper precaution is not taken. When the dead body of the deceased was recovered from the sewer, no safety equipment was found near him even after searching for many hours.